Welcome back, folks. Keeping our eye on the lead story today, and the lead story is the coronavirus and the fear, fright, and hysteria in the global markets, causing the Dow to be down as much as 2,000 points a little earlier today. We're off those lows right now, down 1,500, and we'll keep you posted on all that stuff. Keep your powder dry. There could be a lot more pain out there before this thing ends, so don't go diving in head first right here. That's just my thoughts. And I dive in head first every single day into showing the purpleness of this show when we have a Democrat and a Republican for the Mix It Up segment. And all voices are heard, thoughtful conversation is had by all. One rule is at the end we shake hands and we part friends. Great duo for today. Josh Kravitz joins us. He's Democratic leader and attorney here in New York. He's also a candidate for New York City Council. And Jerry Kassar joins us once again. He's the chairman of the New York State Conservative Party. Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
You're very much welcome.
So, my thing that I'm seeing here, and I'd like to get you guys' thoughts on it, is, you know, Barack Obama is saying he doesn't want to put his finger on the scale, but he's had his foot on the scale for the last couple of weeks. And as soon as Joe Biden won South Carolina, all of a sudden the word went out. Amy Klobuchar went down, you know, one by one. Joe Buttigieg went down, one by one by one by one. They all got behind Joe Biden. Jerry, do you think that they put the best candidate out there now in Joe Biden, or is that their
Well, from my perspective, they put the best candidate out there because I'm looking to win in a re-election for the president. I mean, Joe Biden is definitely showing some wear and tear from over the years he's spent in government and in life. And I just do not see him being a very appealing candidate. And to be honest, you know, him versus Bernie Sanders, I suppose there was a real lack of choice. Possibly some of their better, more appealing candidates, they managed to push out of the race a lot earlier using different strategies. And that is what we're set with, likely a Biden candidacy.
So, Josh, another very learned Democrat who was on the show last week suggested that, you know, people don't care about the gaffes and the guffaws and all this other stuff. They care about, you know, sanity, respectability, and all this other stuff.
Sure.
Do you think the Democratic voters just don't care about any of that stuff?
Yeah, well, look, I think the Democratic voters might have cared about it a little more if Donald Trump weren't president. But when we're talking about gaffes, Donald Trump makes gaffes all the time. And he not only gaffes, Donald Trump is malicious. I mean, you might wake up one morning and he might be tweeting about Mika Brzezinski's face bleeding. The president of the United States,
well,
right? No. That happened.
That was a few years ago.
No. Okay. Well, should I pick one from recent?
Yeah.
Recent. The Democrats made the coronavirus. It's a hoax perpetrated by the Democrats, and we want people to die. That's the president of the United States, and you're laughing about it, but it's not funny at all. He did say it. It's in a tweet. You can read it for yourself, and it's offensive to me because, you know, my grandmother's an at-risk person. My father's an at-risk person. You think I want my grandmother and my father to die for Trump's political harm? Absolutely not. So it's offensive to me, and it comes out all the time. And so Joe Biden, yes. Is he the strongest candidate in the history of the Republic? No. But Donald Trump is probably the weakest candidate in the history of the Republic, and I'll give you two reasons. One is he lost the last election by 3 million votes. He's been at 43% popularity this entire time. He can't get above 43%, and so we'll see. But, you know, when you say you're happy that Biden is our nominee, I'm happy Trump's the nominee because he's the weakest Republican candidate since
Trump is the president of the United States, not just the
Goldwater.
Not just the candidate. He's an elected president of the United States.
And he doesn't deserve our respect whatsoever.
And, you know what? I totally disagree with that.
Really?
He may not. He
doesn't respect me.
Really?
He doesn't respect working people in America?
I think he's a New Yorker who does respect working people. I think he's frankly.
Wait, what does being a New Yorker have to do with anything?
I think
I'm a New Yorker too.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And I think he's more one of us than you want to give him credit for. I think he's more one of the people.
I'm not like Donald Trump at all. He's not. He's not one of us.
No,
because I respect people. I respect you.
And I believe.
John
and I
respects
appreciate
me.
that. And I believe.
I don't call people names. I don't call people Mini Mike. I don't do any of that stuff. I don't do that stuff. I'm a good person, and I don't get any value from that.
That doesn't make him.
I wouldn't cheat on my wife with a porn star.
That does.
Right?
The way
with a 6-month-old baby. So he's not a good person, and I'm not here to pretend that he is. Meanwhile, people are dying out there because of his mismanagement.
Really, mismanagement. You would right now rather have Biden sitting in the White House, not even being able to remember who he's standing next to as we're dealing with the coronavirus? Is that what you really want?
Absolutely.
Doesn't that worry you? Doesn't it worry you, that shuffle getting into the car the other day?
First off,
you know what? I would be extraordinarily concerned about Joe Biden as president. I think your convention is going to be mostly about who you pick for vice president, because that's probably the person who's going to be running the country. Your convention is going to be about talk about who the chief of staff is going to be, because that's the other person who's going to be running the country.
We talked a lot about chief of staff.
I want to just clarify one thing.
I wish John Kelly had been a good enough chief of staff. No one can control him.
I like Josh's energy. He's a great friend of the show. But he's a Bernie supporter.
But I'm also scared.
You can tell the Biden supporter.
The reason why I'm acting the way I am.
Good to see the Bernie supporters are getting behind Biden so early.
The reason why I'm acting the way I am is because I'm scared, and I prayed for the president that we wouldn't be in a crisis like this because I didn't think he could handle it. And now we're here in a crisis, and I'm scared. And my girlfriend's laying in bed in the middle of the we're going to sleep, and she's freaking out. People are freaking out about this, and he doesn't have the chops to manage this situation.
Last night I thought he showed he had the chops.
All right, well, you know what? We'll see what happens. I'm still praying for us.
Well, I mean, we should all be praying on the coronavirus issue that our leadership takes a very nonpartisan, let's get the job done view. That's something I think all Americans agree on.
Well, yes. Somebody agrees with you on your Bernie Sanders stuff. That's Nancy Pelosi. And here's what she had to say about Bernie dropping out of the race.
In case you were going to ask, no, I don't think Bernie Sanders should get out of the race. I think I'm a grassroots person, a party, grassroots, chair of the California Democratic Party. I know the enthusiasm of supporters for candidates, and they want to see it play out for the ideas, the causes that the candidate advances, for the opportunity for people to show their support. I congratulate both of the candidates as they go into the debate on Sunday.
In Nancy's eyes, Bernie should still stay in the race. You're still with Bernie?
Well, I'm still with Bernie. I think Bernie's chances of winning at this point are probably below 1%. And I think that he probably understands that too. But Bernie Sanders' campaign is about a movement, and it's about a set of ideas, and about changing the way that the country cares for its people and puts humans first, takes care of people. So, for example, not to bring it back to the coronavirus, but for a quick second, paid family leave, paid sick leave, right? That's a public health benefit to all of us if we had that, but we haven't had that because of obstruction from people like Mitch McConnell, who takes money from banks and corporations all day long. Okay. So Bernie Sanders is talking about a movement, he's talking about an idea, he's talking about working people and working families, and he wants to have that debate with Joe Biden one-on-one. On the other hand, it helps Joe Biden because Joe Biden needs needs a couple sparring rounds,
Jerry, you've been around politics for as long as I can remember, and you're one of the best out there. You probably heard every speech that's ever been given. I almost felt like when Bernie Sanders held that press conference yesterday, he was laying out a laundry list of, if you don't want me to weaponize my people against Joe, here's the list of things I want to see Joe Biden talking about. It looked like a how-to book to get Bernie followers.
I mean, that was the impression I got too. I mean, Bernie Sanders must be enormously disappointed in what he believed his base, which apparently just essentially likes him when they hit like on Facebook, because they certainly don't seem to care enough about coming out to vote. So, I mean, I could see a very frustrated Bernie Sanders trying to figure out how he makes his way through this race.
All right. Guys, I wanted to get to Corona, but there's enough Corona on television. That was a great spirited debate. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. You guys are great. Jerry Cassar and Josh Kravitz mix it up. Some of the best of them right here on Liquid Lunch. And when it comes to the economy, we got one of the best in the business coming up next. Dr. Murray Sabrin is here. He's going to talk to you about everything you need to know and his new book, Why the Federal Reserve Sucks, right after this.